The Jinx Thresh, Aphelios Lulu, the classic battle. We have not seen it as a staple here in a really long time, but the Jinx is usually considered to be the counter because it has the extra range, pulling that range advantage, especially in the lane phase. It's going to be a great counter-strike plus Malphite ult onto multiple people.
I think has a bit of an idea as to what's going on here, but already
that's the main target. That is the main goal
and
here.
They get the flash throw. That is so beautiful from Carrier. Sets it up with the flash prediction, and down goes Diablo. Not enough summoner spells for this bottom laner.
Items here for Diablo, feeling very nice for the Jinx.
Well, there's the flash. Let's see whether Vikla can get that shockwave down. Hits that level 6. And Emperor's Divide is going to be used preemptively here to make sure that he can't get over. Shockwave goes completely wide, though, as Faker's just walking it off.
Vikla's
shifts
face.
the sands, and he's just fine.
Faker's just like, no. Good try, buddy. Vikla's face.
And now this bottom lane is just up a creek that they don't like without a paddle. However, that is going to be the first kill going over to BNK. Now Raptor is going to find Faker trying to make his way back, and there is the orb once again. Faker shifts the sands once more, and the spear does go wide.
Yeah, and Raptor does have his ultimate, but there's not really a great angle to employ it for him, unfortunately. Could try to get into the backline with a Wild Growth setup if we could see Kellen close that gap. He also has level 6. They're going to try for something.
Yeah, Kellen moving over here. I don't know about this one, as Wild Growth is available. Lantern can be taken here as the Flame Chompers go down, as Vikla possibly a target here for Faker. No flash. Shockwave comes in onto 3 as the hook is going to connect. Vikla is definitely dead, but can they keep fighting? The answer is no, as Ona just dashes forward still. Diablo finding the damage. Moonlight Vigil to take down the Xin Zhao, and now Carrier is looking for him. Red White Guns come in, but he doesn't find the hook, and Diablo's able to run amok in the fight. Faker able to take the Lantern out, and so T1 will get away with their support and mid laner. BNK composition. We were talking before about how they've had a lot of synergy success as Hook is going to come down. Diablo just walks into it. Pace has to flash. Diablo cannot follow, but Carrier is definitely dead. As Raptor has it charged up. Hayes in a bit of trouble. The flash from Kellen! Help Pix to take the kill.
All right, send him in. And now we really got a game on our hands.
And now Diablo really doesn't have a kill. Like, this is so annoying.
It's like, I mean, he's on a ward, but we're still going.
Oh dear. Hayes has just made his way back and has now lost half his health already, and now he's dead. Diablo is given a kill! There we go. BNK now moved to 6-3, 2.5k gold advantage.
There may be a bit of a bell curve in terms of us having a game and then not having a game that may be occurring. We may be close to not having a game again, Atlas, just in the other direction.
Oh no, that's true. We need to stay in the sweet spot. Stay in the okay, T1 makes something happen here as Faker gets the flash down. The Ram comes through as well as Diablo's knocked up in the game. It's coming back. It's coming back. Well, Faker's going to be able to pick up that kill. Kellen is going down as well, and T1 move back towards the driver's seat. As Pace cannot catch a break, man. It's just he's trying to get to a mini wave. His Carrier is likely dead. The box did come on through, but Raptor will have some more buttons available, and there it is. Now Ona's come on over, though, and no more flash here for Raptor as Teleport brings the Rumble to the bottom lane, and Pace is going to come over and try and grab the kill, but it is Ona that picks that one up. Really gets stuff done in the late game.
I'm amazed to hold up Pace.
That's Moonlight Vigil that comes down, grabbing him, comes on through there, and the Pantheon is going to come down, and yeah, there was no room for a Lantern. So Diablo may not have any items himself, but thankfully, Kellen's built one for him. Yeah. So there you go. There's a little bit of extra something. This is going to be the first rate going over to BNK, and we have a Mountain Soul this game as well.
Yeah, we're back to this is not a game at all situation here because Pace can't play the game anymore, and Diablo has taken a significant lead. Obviously, the Cull is about to cash in, and that's going to get even bigger. Notice he is...
Even though their comp does kind of do the same thing, it's better than what T1 has at this stage of the game.
Diablo's had his role quest done significantly faster as well than Pace, so he's starting to get even more money even faster, as that is just how it goes with AD carries. Pace should be finishing his very soon, but have to wait for that next wave if they're going to go for this. Vikla does have TP.
There could be a teleport angle here. We'll just have to see whether they do go for it. And it looks like the answer is going to be no. Clear is just dead. Ona tanks up the turret quite a lot, but he is absolutely fine as Diablo is behind this turret. And it's all about cross-map here for BNK. They're like, we do not care about you killing our top laner if we can take the mid lane outer turret as well as the top lane outer.
All plates going over, and
where did the grubs go, by the way?
mean, everybody's kind of accelerated except Pays right now.
Oh dear.
This is a crazy TP.
Yeah, let's see whether this one's going to work out as Clear makes his way in. Now Raptor gets on top. That's going to be the shockwave onto one as Ona trying to get himself out of there. There is Clear dying though to Pays. Pays actually getting some more money here as now Raptor could be taken down as well. A bridge too far perhaps, but now Diablo's able to get that damage through. Super Mega Death Rocket though to answer, and now Diablo's frontlining. I'm not sure about this one as he needs as many Gravitums as he can. The flash over was so sexy from Diablo. Finds the Moonlight Vigil and Pays shut him down. T1 will find the team fight in the end, but it looked pretty cool on BNK's side.
Second of the game, which will put them at just a simple 1-dragon lead here at 19 minutes. But that's a lot of map control taken away from BNK despite those early turrets that went down.
And also there is a lot of standing gold here for T1. They've only taken the bottom outer turret, and it could mean that a lot of these structures are just going to go down and that gold lead could balloon. As now Doran's possibly in trouble. He's looking to try and turn this into a bit of an engage though. Finds the flash forward, shockwave just to try and keep Diablo alive. It gets the autos down. Faker is taken out, but they are able to answer with the whole bottom lane being destroyed. Raptor with the Aegis, not able to get it done, and Pays. Yeah, he's excited now, able to take down his arch nemesis in Raptor on the Pantheon, and 3 already dead in trade for Faker. Clear going to follow. Hook, of course, is going to connect, and the Flame Spitter not doing enough, and another kill over to the Jinx. Items completed, and does have his own ornament. The Kraken Slayer is now the Kraken Obliterator. Here for Pays. We're getting towards said late game, and with Doran at level 14, he's going to start doling out even more as Pays. Oh dear, he was on the map again. That's problematic.
Yeah, he was almost near his inner turret, and Raptor was like, that's just not enough. That's not enough safety.
That's why I said he was in the dangerous spot, which is on the map.
Yeah, he wasn't in the base, so... which is arguably not safe at this point either with the Sped Pantheon. And they're just going to start the Baron.
Yeah.
Owner does have flash.
I mean, there's a lot of damage onto this as well. As BNK trying to get rid of the vision. T1 not wanting to give this one up, as now Owner going to get engaged on here by Clear. He's the one that needs to be there for the smite, so if Clear can actually get him out of here, that could be a big deal as the hook is going to connect, and Carrier's going to look to try and take down Clear, but now Faker's in trouble. Polymorphed, and Diablo will be able to find the kill before anything's really happened. Clear is going to get traded, and now the Baron is down exceptionally low. Ona still has a health bar though, and he gets into the pit. It is going to be secured by Raptor, but down goes the Aphelios, and now Vickler is trying to kill Carrier. He might be able to do so as the hook doesn't land, and Raptor is able to get himself out of there. BNK somehow find the team fight. I say somehow, I mean, T1 had to fight without their Jinx, but still, I mean, that was a mess until it was fine.
I kind of feel like that was one of the cleanest Barons I've seen from two teams in, like, ever. But, I mean, T1 didn't have a Jinx, right? And the setup was terrible. It's still not going to have a Jinx.
Just going to look to kill Vickler here, and Vickler says, I will instead take that.
Yeah, so they didn't have a Jinx. They won't have one anymore for a moment here as well.
Yeah, and that was a 50-50 in the end. As BNK are going to even out the Drakes. Oh, goodness, there is so much game. The game is everywhere.
Yeah, it's...
It was just hanging out. As now Diablo wants to take down the Sundisk, as Doran is going to get a nice knock up there onto the Aphelios, but his damage is actually quite ridiculous now with 3 items complete. The Ram comes on through just to take down Clear, as now Ona looking for the angle. Diablo still wanting to fight this. And BNK realizing without their top laner, they're going to have a little bit of a struggle. So this Baron is going to be less helpful. Too worried about it. Teleport is going to come on through though, as Diablo is going to get missed because he does have his trusty minion in the way. Manages to take down the inner turret. Nicely cross-mapped. Like, again, this is what BNK have been so good at this game, and that is keeping T1 honest with their plays. As Doran going to look for a knock-up here, but doesn't quite have enough direction. There's the shockwave, though, as Vickler picks it up. Wild Growth to keep Raptor alive as well. The Pays is free-hitting. Diablo is frontline as he flashes on top of Pays. Gets the big shield and will go down, but he takes the Jinx with him. And BNK, I think, have enough damage left in the tank. Doran is finally going to burn down, and Carrier has to flash. 10 seconds until the Baron. And BNK that was really good, man!
Yeah, they actually really are. And that was Diablo basically just saying, damn it, I said hit the damage dealers! They're all shooting Orin, and he's like, no.
It was a little late, but that one was perfect. And made sure that he went 1 for 1.
T1
is still going to be able to get the Drake. Yeah, it is a 5,000 gold advantage, and Baron goes over to BNK, and it's not Soul. So this could mean that BNK can now use this Baron in order to get an insurmountable lead. There's 4 items on the Aphelios. Diablo is very scary, but now the ramp comes on through. They get the knock-up, and he gets Wild Growth. Let's see whether Diablo can stay alive in this one. I think he might just be able to. Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't quite work, and Raptor stands in front of the hook. Ona looks for the angle as Diablo gets so much health back, and Pays is going to melt as the Flame Splitter comes down. Clear sacrifices himself for his god, and his god is Diablo in this game.
Yeah, well, with a 45, 1.5 kills per minute game here, this was a lot of game. This is the kind of game where when the Nexus explodes, you do truly say, GG.
Yeah, we might need to do that. Let's try and do the StarCraft thing. Sorry, the Korean caster thing as this Nexus goes down, because it absolutely deserves it. And BNK, what incredible play around the advantages that they found for themselves. They made this game their own, and there it is, GG! Ellipse, what a game! Oh my gosh!
If you can knock even just 1 or 2 of those threats away, your Sivir can do great work, and they have the engage as well to back it up. I think T1 have a draft that, with nameplates on, you're like, oh god, that's horrifying. We're going to get a pretty nice advantage from this, and we'll continue to hit that topside turret, so not all for nothing there, despite not having the flash to follow. Gets the flash out of Doran, and we'll get plate money and a night farm.
Yeah,
BNK's early game, pretty insane.
Well, there's a great knock-up as the flash charm comes through. Ona is lit on fire, and that is first blood going over to the Jarvan. Vikla avoids the chains as Faker has stolen the ulti and will find the follow-up kill. Now Carrier moving over, but is unable to get the headbutt over the wall. And does have flash, but did not want to invest it. So Faker's on the board. There's a lot of these later game team fights with the amount of value that you can get out of the Steadfast Presence, and with the fact that creating space with the Keeper's Verdict is going to be so incredibly important. Ona is making his way in. Public Execution goes wide, though, but the chains do connect. Good charm from Vikla, but I don't know whether he's out of dodge just yet, as he is going to get taken down. There is the Cataclysm, though, as now Ona stuck inside the circle. Teleports coming in, but they're turtle ports. And oh my goodness, the takedown from this Poppy as he just heroically charges Ambessa to the Nether Realm. Yeah. And Raptor is going to now try and challenge for this dragon. Kellen moving over. Does have the Keeper's Verdict available. Let's see whether he can use it to guarantee some position, but there's the flash pulverize. He does get the ulti off, but it's only onto Carrier, and he just dies. As a result, still Raptor's able to take the dragon. That could be important. Flags and drags, gets himself out. Poppy for Drake? I guess you possibly take that.
Yeah, it really depends on what soul we get, but feels pretty nice, at least initially here, which was a big concern for looking for that contest on the dragon itself. This Faker.
There's a big old Cataclysm. Manages to get the ulti out of Vikla here, as we do have the teleport upgrading, but we don't see the charm. Still the Cataclysm comes in, and Raptor's there to bail out his mid laner.
It doesn't have TP, and I think it should just be free grubs here. And Vikla can hold this wave, and then they could swap him to the bottom lane and send the Sivir mid. As BNK, once again, it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's solid macro.
Well, Diablo is in a little bit of trouble. However, Faker runs out of buttons to press as Vikla... Wow, that was a lot of damage out of pace.
So much extra freedom to just farm it out and ignore team fights. This game is a lot less bloody than the last one, but still a lot of action.
There's another Dominus as Raptor's going in, but so is Carrier over the other side. But trading places not quite working out. Public Execution onto the Jarvan as the Cataclysm comes down. He tries to get out, but he fails. And it's Ona that takes down his opposition. Kellen's flashing. They know that they have to get out of there, and Diablo has to flash as well, as now Faker has discovered the Poppy. And I don't know whether Kellen is going to be escaping this one. The charm is going to get avoided, and Kellen should be going down. It takes a bit of Kellen to take down a Poppy, but Faker is going to get him in the end. As Clear might just take this turret and got a solo kill onto Doran, I believe, in the top lane while that was all happening.
Yeah, finally he got the kill he's been looking for all game. Finally this time the margins were there. He does not have boots, by the way, still. He's just not going to let anything go wrong in this one, and we'll pick up the kill.
And so Rift Herald, in the meantime, is going to go over to BNK. That might help alleviate some of the issues, but...
TP is going to come through here for Faker. And we're grouped around the bottom side. There's no dragon for 3 minutes. We're fighting anyways.
Yeah, Roy Charge comes in. Carrier does have the ulti as Chains of Corruption does connect. And now Raptor well in amongst it. Public Execution not quite going to work out, but even through the Unbreakable Will, it is going to be the cow going down. Great Steadfast Presence there, but Kellen, I think, is still going to get taken out as Faker is just way too big in this game. Took a lot to take down the Poppy, though, and there is the shutdown onto Diablo as Faker is going to fall finally. And now you've we've got Raptor riding this Rift Herald into all the crystalline overgrowth in the mid lane. That is going to be BNK taking out this outer turret in mid,
the second
getting
turret of the game.
More money.
Yeah, this is a really strong position here right now for BNK.
Diablo.
And like, I don't know where he's going to send it. I guess just
just into the wall.
Into the wall. It's pretty huge, but they are not set up to contest, and there's no TP for Vikla.
All right, now they're going to try and turn on to Raptor. There's the flash knock-up as Keeper's Verdict just gets rid of two of them.
Like, the way that was played out for BNK made me feel a little bit nervous about what the rest of these fights could look like because it was a bit haphazard, but however...
All right, there's a knock-up onto Owner. As Chain's going to miss, Vikla now looking for a way to get in. Great Charm is going to connect, but the public execution is going to mitigate it completely, and down goes Raptor. Vikla should be following here as the auto is in the air from Pays, and they just wipe out
Baron.
the Fox Lady. That should be Baron, and oh dear. Oh,
yeah.
the game was there, it was on the hands, and now it's missing.
Yeah, I kind of was leading into, I'm a little bit concerned about how BNK are setting up because it's very haphazard because of things like this, right? It's a very scrappy composition that T1 have with Mbessa and Silas, and if you give them the opportunity, they will just smash in skirmishes, even with this gold deficit, which is quite small now.
And so this Sivir is not going to be that massive threat until much later in this game, if we even get there. As T1 look to take down their first turret of the Baron. Yeah, already the Rebel Baron power play ticking over 1,000.
That's the gold lead for T1 really for the first time, but it's more than gold that T1 will gain from this, as you mentioned, and all of this control, all of this siege, putting the Sivir on the back foot, they're going to turn that into a turret take here in mid, which is arguably the most important turret right now that T1 haven't gotten.
Well, there is Dominus happening all over the place here as Faker is fighting against Clear. Doesn't quite find the chain lash, but Cull the Meek not exactly doing exactly what it wants. As Faker gets flashed on here, Clear looks for the angle, and he gets sliced and diced!
The only way
Clear cleans him up!
The only way Clear wins that is buying enough time, and he's even getting the TP out.
Oh, man.
The only way he wins that is if he gets enough from his Dominus to actually get the empowered W.
Doran afterwards is like, what did you do to this crocodile, man? Let's have a look at this one more time, as honestly it wasn't like that. It was very close to Faker actually winning out on this trade.
6, 5, 4. He needs it so desperately, right? Gets the empowered Q, backs away, waits for his Fury, and waits for his W. Flashes on, gets the W, Qs him, and has enough damage there with the slice and dice coming up at the last possible second. Clears Judgment, insane in this moment. And then takes the teleport out.
Just gorgeous. Also doesn't take the cannon because he knows that otherwise he'd die. Everything about it just gorgeously well played. Of a contest here out of BNK. Let's see whether Raptor can go for a bit of a steal as Keeper's Verdict just gets cancelled immediately.
Yeah, they just want to knock Owner away to steal. When that doesn't work, they just back off. They were just hoping for Keeper's Verdict into a little flag and drag action. Maybe they can get the punish.
Yeah. As Chains of Corruption connects onto Kellen, he just absorbs so much damage. And is now just not really going to be a factor here in this fight as Doran tries to save this turret.
There's company coming. His top laner has teleport.
Yeah, and we know that just the Crocodile is a dangerous one. Now there's a Jarvan there as well. Teleport's coming in, Cataclysm goes down, and now with this teleport coming through, Doran does have a large shield, but I don't know whether he's going to have it for very long. And in fact, it just immediately evaporates. He now has to tunnel his way out. And with On the Hunt, there is a chance that BNK can even catch up to this Rek'Sai, although Raptor is going to find it with the flash. Doran now gets a little bit of a knock-up, though, and does have the ulti back off cooldown, and Clear is there with the Ruthless Predator, and down goes the Rek'Sai.
BNK out-macroing T1?
Oh dear, and maybe it's not over, as Owner is going to discover Clear.
Threatening on the flank.
Yep, and does have the Cloud Rift there as well to make sure that he's real speedy, as Doran gets the knock-up, as he has to slice to get out of the way, but there's the Keeper's Verdict now on cooldown. Gets rid of Doran here in this moment. Public Execution comes down. Steric's not quite going to be enough. However, he does slice his way out even through the exhaust. But now going to have to be teleporting back into this fight, and the Dragon has already been started here by T1. Kellen looking for an angle. Vikla dives in, gets the charm onto Faker, and then gets himself out. Faker steals away his ultimate, though, as now Diablo having to flash, but he'll be taken out as Pace snipes him from the back line. He'll get rid of the Poppy as well, and now Faker's popping off, getting those resets, and finally Clear comes back in, but he's alone. T1's team fighting just too good in the end, and it's only Raptor that lives to tell the tale.
Vikla's gambit of going in there, looking for Faker, absolutely does not pay off, and it's in that moment the rest of T1 get on top of Diablo. And their objective in this fight was to secure Dragon. They didn't need to win the fight. He showed back up in the fight. The follow-up is easy. And T1 get Cloud Soul and Baron. And I think that is likely enough.
Spirit rushes that Faker has been using have been pretty diabolical.
Pretty horrifying. Silas speedy. And with Cloud Soul, it's pretty insane. IE's done for Diablo. He's going to have to put it to good work here on this defense. Sivir can buy you so much space against Baron because her wave clear, as you can see on your screen and with your eyes right now, is pretty bonkers. But it's still not going to... Okay, hold up. Diablo, no.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see is Diablo. I don't think he's going to be able to spell shield that one as Raptor looks to try and put Faker into the Cataclysm, and it does not work. This is game over, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot have a Sivir step that far forward. As Clear says, yes, in this game I was very fed, but unfortunately if my whole team dies, I cannot do it alone. That's going to be the ace, and T1 just go from winning a team fight to game over in the click of your fingers.
Yep, that's all it takes. And poor Diablo, he cleared that wave really hard.
He did.
But he could not clear the champions.
No.
Which also means that they're probably going to have map control, which means they're going to have vision, which means that this...
Oh, it's a top lane rise. I actually kind of love this.
Yeah.
Ellen in a little bit of trouble, does have to flash to get himself out of the way, as somehow that beat drop does nothing at all. Meanwhile, Owner is going to discover Raptor here in his jungle. The bird is moving down, though. And Arcane Smash, there's that extra 10 damage, baby.
There you go.
And
I think he's dead.
He's going to look for it. There's a Twisted Advance and the Arcane Smash! It's called Bramble Smash now, ladies and gentlemen. It hasn't been Arcane Smash for a very long time, as now Faker is looking to try and get that kill back. Oh, Raptor gets the level up! And he's able to stay alive. Look at that. Cool, calm, and collected in the PJs. And just strolls his way out.
This is just such a performance out of BNK today. He gets 6, and maybe they can make a play, but Yone has Prio. Atlas, this is a bit of a strong start here with the Prio in these lanes. The Rise is winning too.
Oh, okay. There's the ulti from Vikla. Finds Faker here, and that's a solo bolo for Vikla, and he walks his way out. And in the meantime, the smite is going to go over to Owner. He does finally find level 6 as Twisted advances onto a clone.
You want to see with that swap of the Rise into the top lane. And for Vikla as a player, it's always the aggressive picks you're excited about, right? It's the Yones, the Akalis, the Aris, right? He got the flash to get the egg earlier, and now he knows no egg.
Yep, and he already called it as well. Gets the knock-up, gets that perfect setup, and just knows. As meanwhile, we've got Clear in a bit of trouble here towards the top side of the map. Flashed, but that is not going to get him out of dodge. As now, the return on the bottom side, as there is the Nature's Grasp. The encore comes through, good flash from Pays, goes right over the top, but the beat has been dropped. Still, Pays survives with 100 health. The arrow going to connect the splash damage. Not enough, and Carrier blocks the volley. And the curtains are now getting called. Flash out there from Diablo as Raptor gets the interrupt. And Diablo, can you actually get any of the kills here as BNK looks to try and turn this around? If at first you don't succeed, try again. And there are no teleports to try and get under here. There's the high note, and that's the double kill for Kellen.
Raptor doesn't pick up aggro, he doesn't touch him, and he gets away.
Yeah, Diablo was able to take that first turret shot. They got the reset, so it's not doing that massive amount of ramp damage. As now Clear and Doran continuing to fight. Slicing Maelstrom comes in here as Clear looking to escape and is going to be able to do so with that Realm Warp. As Doran still looks for it, he just finds the solo! Oh, that was a mistake there from the Rise. Meanwhile, we've got another team fight happening as the Nature is grasping one more time. And Vikla, oh, just barely out of range.
Happen here because they're going to lose their bottom turrets. They need a cross map. There's the TP from Carrier. They are going to go for the dive.
Yeah, well, Clear doesn't have any minions to worry about, but the curtains have been called, and the rest of T1 are here. Let's see whether the DDR is going to work.
Arrow coming.
As the slow comes on through, yes, the arrow is going to ascend. That does connect onto Carrier. Fair bit of damage back, but Pays is still able to lock that one down. And yeah, that is just a little bit of an overloading of the top side of the map there for T1. And Diablo, in the meantime, just takes that first turret off the map.
And look at how long it's going to take them to take this turret down as well.
Man, this is kind of absurd. It's, what, a 40 CS lead here for Diablo. And he's now got 3 daggers. He's full build. My goodness. Kraken Slayer done, though. That's obviously the main thing. Pretty high value soul as well, as it's Ocean and Chemtech, our first 2. As out goes Vikla. Doran is pretty scary. Slicing Maelstrom comes through, but the rest of BNK are making their way over. That's a solo.
me and I press R and they die, I'm not really doing anything skillful. I'm killing them. And Doran's just the punish guy today, as we're going to see a fight.
Yeah, they're going to look for the angle here as the Encore does come on down. That is going to interrupt the engage, but Owner is already dead. Diablo gets so much of his health back with that surround sound and a huge shield from his barrier as well. That's clear, locking down the kill onto Carrier. The flash from Faker really wanting to take down Diablo. But the Ash is looking to try and kite. The B drops, and he's down to the egg once again. Diablo stands strong, and BNK find another team fight.
Find you a support who watches Diablo like Kellen does.
Absolutely.
Hey, this guy has Echoes of Helia online here, and he's going to pick up a bunch of extra gold. He got the double kill early on in the game. He even picks up the kill.
Oh, man, look at his health bar. Goes down to 200, then gets the barrier and the surround sound from this Seraphine.
I didn't even quite realize that he just barely got over the wall as well. He knows the range. He's begging, asking for help for Kellen. Kellen does help. I want to watch Kellen's first-person view on this one as well.
Nicely played. And now this outer turret in a bit of trouble as he procs the Q, and Diablo should be able to grab it. There it is.
I think we don't have a lot of game on our hands in this one.
Yeah, the game has drifted over to the other side as now Vickler is trying to get a little bit back here as Doran, another ulti comes on through. This time Vickler out of range as he rebinds, but Owner is going to move on over. Let's see whether Vickler can at least kill the minion wave before he does go down.
BNK, I think it's Doran's birthday.
Yeah, I think so. That is going to be Vickler going down.
Doran's like, what are they doing? I'm getting confused.
I mean, he's been like 100% kill contribution top laner is not what I had on my bingo card.
As they're going to get this this Herald BNK on the other side of the map, so it's not a huge win for T1, but Doran is quite large. Has TP, but obviously no ultimate, and there's no fight here. Diablo picks up
compositions to be
blue buff, which is pretty good for Ashe. And how does T1 get in here? Like, really, more specifically, how does Doran get in here? Because right now he is T1. There's no one else, and
Flash Dash Cannon Wolf, that's how.
I think he said, you know what, let's try to go in here on the 4th dragon.
As well. 2 items on the double kill Seraphine. There's a knock up onto Doran. Flash Twisted Advance comes on through as the Nature is grasping one more time. Ulti comes down, but Doran is able to buy a little bit of space. Still, the Kitty Cat comes down, and Vickler is able to lock that one up. There was also an arrow in the air.
Well, it'll take a while.
Yeah, Vickler is going to have to teleport in here. Let's see where he's going to go, as the teleport in the backline is going to come on through. BNK do manage to get here, but T1 have this Baron so incredibly low. Arrow going to connect. There is the Encore. That's the Baron secured, but can they keep themselves alive as the Nature's Grasp comes down, and Owner is going to be the first one to die. Clear has now found Doran, and Doran's just going to die? A solo kill for the Rise, who has felt like an afterthought this game.
T1, and they had Doran on the flank to try to mitigate any sort of team fight.
Raptor looking to engage Cone his way in as Carrier in a bit of trouble. Has to flash to get himself out of the way. Faker slowed down by the volley as Diablo's in the front line. Does get hit by that crit, but it is going to be Raptor now that's in a little bit of trouble. Look at that health bar though, it's gigantic, and in goes Vickler finding the ulti angle, and they just eviscerate Carrier and get themselves out.
And Clear isn't even here. He is going to show up here on the flank now, but they're essentially doing this fight without him. And now Owner thinks he can get his buff.
And maybe Dagon was right this whole time. Maybe Raptor is just the greatest jungler ever. As Vickler is down very, very low. There's a slicing Maelstrom, but there's no follow-up onto Doran. And now the curtains are being called. Faker in a bit of trouble as Clear does have his Seraphs, and so the shield is going to help him.
And so we don't misquote Dagon. Dagon said he was top 3. And if he wins this series, you know, he will be.
I was being a little facetious, you know, as now Faker is going to look for Diablo. He has the barrier, and down he goes to the egg. Pays is dead as well as the Q snipes him down. And there goes the Anivia. Carrier cannot do anything. He's dead. It's a double for Diablo. And BNK, I think, are just going to march down this bottom lane and look to put an end to game number 3.
This was a very, very creative draft that I wasn't sure if we could trust, because it's just kind of unexplored territory, but they made it look absolutely broken. The coordination was great.
And with the Red Bull Baron power play, it looks like T1 is sponsoring Red Bull after all of that money, as finally Raptor Raptor does go down. This inhibitor turret is going to go as well. A 5,000 negative Rebel Baron power play. That is a large one. As now Vikla could be getting flanked. Carrier looking to make his way in, but Doran, I don't think he's going to be able to get the follow-up. Of course, they've taken the first three all for themselves. Vikla looking for a few Qs. Does miss most of them. Good footwork there from Faker.
Faker's like, oh, thank God it's over.
Who was the most powerful member of his team. And speaking of gold lead, Owner actually does have one as well, which is kind of crazy. Arrow going to catch Carrier in the middle of his grand exit, and Diablo just walks him down. Is it going to be enough, though, as they look for the curtain call, and Diablo just stands behind the tanky boys. The Wukong aren't able to do anything, and BNK just wipe out two already. Now Faker, Pays, and Doran, can they hold on to the base? That is the question. Slicing Maelstrom is there, and it's going to need to be massive. Clear takes matters into his own hands. There's the ulti from Vikla, and they just take down the cannon before Doran can do anything at all. And Clear is just tanking up. Nexus turrets doesn't seem to care too much at all as Diablo is peppering these ones down. Faker is discovered. The flash twisted advance there from Raptor is good as Carrier has respawned already. Gets a nice double knock-up. But where is the damage? It is just absent here on T1. BNK's lead too large. And they will take down both Nexus turrets and the Nexus and look for match point. One more win from this team as Diablo goes complete beast mode in the enemy fountain. The Nexus is destroyed.
Counter-Strike plus Malphite ult onto multiple people could be massive. But in this draft, you really only need to hit the Lucian. That's the main target. That is the main goal here. And T1 have all of the tools.
All right, Owner going to get discovered here by Raptor. That's kind of what Raptor is really liked here, as Kellen taking way too much damage towards the bottom lane. Lit on fire, and the flash over the mega fire kick is kind of crazy from Pays. Diablo still able to offer damage back, but they do get all of the summoners out of Kellen.
Yeah, this can backfire because Diablo has both sums, and it's a 3v3 now here in the jungle.
Rock. See? Told you wanted to eat the rock as Pays.
Yeah.
He just gets flashed on because his flash was down.
That was not
Diablo's
a favorable
looking
trade.
for another one, but it's going to let Carrier live for the moment.
He is absolutely having the series of his life, and they're drafting for him too in this one. Like, you know, this is BNK saying, we trust this guy, he's young, he's not that experienced just yet, hasn't played too many big best of fives like this. But we know that he is just not going to get nervous, he's not going to choke, he's going to perform.
And so BNK, they will get some advanced warning of the rock moving over. Kellen spots him, there is the flash, but they catch the dash, there's the hook from Carrier, and Diablo, he survives for a long time, but will be taken out. There's the T1 answer.
Yeah, no flash for Diablo after the previous play.
Faker is doing a lot of work though, as we can see here. He may have actually just lost a cannon as Diablo, he's angry. Going to throw out that culling, gives Carrier a bit of a back massage.
Pretty difficult to dive here.
Overgrowth going to be taken down. Here's the gate to come on through as Vikla right underneath the turret will get knocked up as Pays is going to be the target, but he takes a long time to kill. Raptor just tanks it up, and he will be A-OK. Wildcard's not enough to take down Carrier, and the rock is moving in. Faker there as well. Walks over control vision as Diablo is still trying to get more kills. As Faker goes between worlds, but immediately he's CC'd. Carrier gets the Titan's Wrath as there's the ulti from Owner, but the flash out from Diablo's fantastic. Still, he's going to go down, and down goes the troll as well. T1, they are looking for some silver scrapes, and if they keep playing like this, they may find him.
And setting up every single objective before this Yunara becomes a bigger threat later on. You know, Cull is running here for Pays.
Ooh, Vikla goes back and completes some items here at the same time. Faker looks to try and grab that plate, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so as Diablo's dashing in. Hook is not going to connect there as the fire kick comes down.
Does have his quest completed, so the penalty not going to apply that Ox was talking about before, and they're going to try to kill Doran and take this turret off the map. Pays cannot impact this at all.
Yep, Nara is just going to be thrown out for fun there from Clear, and I don't think Doran is going to be able to do much of anything at all. There's the culling. That's going to take him down, and now they're looking for the turret here as well. That'll be first turret blood if they're able to get there, and you can see Pays is so far away.
Starting to feel like Funnolution in this one as they send him to the top lane. He picks up another kill. He picks up the first turret of the game, and Pays, meanwhile, isn't getting anywhere near as much on the other side.
Well, that is going to be Vikla going down to half health as T1 throws the kitchen sink at him.
Diablo can flash it and kill him, or sometimes just get hit by the ultimate and then shoot him and kill him as well.
Oh no. There's the house,
Faker.
And the Nara's going to hit this time around. I think Clear could have done that by himself, as now Pays taking so much damage here from Diablo. Speaking of which, they're going to have to.
They can't do anything here. I mean, at least they're getting the cross on the Jax on the top side, but it's being matched by Nar bottom side, so it's going to be a 2-for-1 in turrets. They already got the top side turret with the roam up from Diablo. And so this is a big trade up again for BNK. The macro really good off of just a pick onto that Aurora. Faker's Aurora now 1 and 2 in this game. Library.
Yes. And we've heard that before. It has happened. I think a lot of us remember Busan for that MSI.
You care, like, yeah, Dragon's up. Don't care about that. It's Ocean Dragon. I already got the 2 real ones. I'm going to drop my Herald on your top inner and maybe even going to crash on your inhibitor turret.
Oh my goodness. That's going to be a charge onto the inhib. Mess in the top lane. As Raptor moves in, Keria is there with Paze, but the hook is going to go wide. Fire kick comes on through as well, but it is Raptor taking a lot of damage. Now the subjugate comes on through and they turn onto Vikla. He goes between worlds, getting comboed down and will be taken out. It takes a while, but he eventually does go down as now Doran gets into the mix. Raptor looking a little worse for wear, but stays alive for the moment, and now the pillar is in. There's the counter strike. They land on top of Kellen, but he is not the primary target, and Clear getting into that backline. Down goes Paze, and without the Inara, there is so much damage missing, and now it's Diablo's turn as he flashes out of the counter-strike, and Faker is going to get mopped up as well. It should be a triple as he dashes after Faker to pick it up.
And I think BNK cannot be stopped. I think they might have just punched their ticket, Atlas. Unreal! No one predicting this team to win it. No one predicting this would go even 5 in T1's win. And we're on.
T1 are going to be forced to back away. Crystalline Overgrowth goes pop, and BNK look to try and take down this inner turret as well. Once again, we have bounties on the map. And we were talking about backs against the wall. T1 are in the wall
now. They're looking like Han Solo and Carbonite right now.
It's either that or it's Homer Simpson, like inside the hedge for BNK. 3 items on Vikla. They're all very important. Those gold cards can hit from a really long way away, and with that Lich Bane, they do really hurt. And Diablo, he's got 3 done, so they're looking for this. There is the engage from Ono, though. They're looking to try and get on top of Diablo, but with Kellen, he survives for such a long time, but finally, he's taken down. The flash from Raptor, though. No 80 carries left on the Rift, but Vikla is in melee range with Ono and Doran, and it's now Doran's turn to go insane. Still, he's able to get himself out of there. A 1-for-1 as both of the ADs are just gone.
Also be in trouble here as Clear gets his Narbar. House won't connect, but TP has to be committed, and Raptor is just soloing this. I think this is just Ocean Soul over to BNK.
Yeah, and Ocean Soul actually kind of insane on a Trundle who just likes to...
For the initial part of this fight.
Yep, and now Keria is dealing with a culling, and that is a back massage that he does not like to see. Another Unstoppable Force comes down, but where's the follow-up? Faker does find it here, and Diablo is going to get taken out. Doran now going to dive in on top of Raptor, who's looking so difficult to kill, especially with Kellen alongside the flash from Clear, but he doesn't find the Gnar angle, and now a gold card comes in. They're looking to try and stop Doran, and there is the Gnar finally, but it's just not going to do enough, as Kellen cannot keep all of his carries alive, especially with Diablo on the floor. Still, Clear is there. He hits Mini Gnar. He's like, I'm the AD carry now, and I guess he is.
The wallets are so heavy that these fights that shouldn't be winnable for this comp anymore, or shouldn't be winnable for this comp at this late in the game with this much of a lead, are still kind of playable because Clear, like you said, is a secondary AD carry threat here. So you can see T1 watch on. No flash for Owner. He has his own.
All right, Clear's going in. There's the gate. It's now Paze. Oh, he's too far forward. Clear looking for the angle. Look at that Narbar. Still, he has to get ulted by Owner to make sure that they have the peel. And Owner might be a hero. He has saved his AD carry, but he has to sacrifice himself. That means the jungle is dead, and the Baron should go over to BNK.
Yeah, this was a desperate situation for T1 no matter which way you look at it. They wanted to get in there, look for some sort of engage with BNK. Old BNK probably just holds Baron and tries to fight on the Baron pit itself.
Froster! Like, it's absolutely absurd. As, yep, the library continues here. As Doran, he's going to get pillared momentarily. Vikla looks to try and find a gold card, but Doran gets himself out of there. He's going to be okay for the moment. Problem is, does not really change the state of this game. This large minion wave. What the heck was that damage?
Pretty unreal.
That's a Lich Bane proc with some Crystalline Overgrowth, I guess.
That
tower just dies.
There's no TP for Faker. There's no TP for Doran. There's only one ward they could use to try to flank anyways. They just have to wait this out, but it's 2 more minutes. This should be the beginning of the end, barring a huge mistake. Some miracle flash ult from Owner onto Diablo with follow-up. They're just going to play it slow. They're going to play it safe, and T1 fans pray they make that error.
This is crazy, though, as Keria, he goes in, he gets pillared. There's another Destiny to come forward as Carrier looking very worse for wear. Vikla decides not to gate just yet, finally pulls the trigger as the gold card connects onto Faker. Now Clear finds him with the Gnar. He tries to go between worlds, but unfortunately, he goes to the world that nobody wants to go to with the gray screen. His owner, he's going to get turned on as well and eaten by a Raptor. Is this just the end of the game? Is this just the end of the series? Has BNK done it? It was only 3 best of 5s between these organizations, and BNK are gonna even that scoreline as there's the flash onto the fountain, obviously, there from Diablo and BNK FEARX. They will be going to Hong Kong, and they are going up against Gen G.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.